In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the XP600 printhead. Now, this is one of our test printers that's been sitting for a while. It's got the Epson cartridges in it, and no matter how many cleanings I do, I can't seem to bring it back. So now I'm going to show you how to remove the printhead. You're going to need only 3 little tools: a pair of needle nose, small Phillips screwdriver, and a small flat blade screwdriver. I'm going to take the printhead out without even taking a cover off the printer. Now what you want to do is bring your cartridges over to the cartridge change position. Then you want to unplug it. Now you can remove the cartridges. And then after I get them out, I'm going to point out a few things you want to look for. Okay, these screws here, don't take them out. You don't need to, unless you want to take out the little control board that's underneath. All I want to do is take out that printhead. And then in the other part of the video, part 2, I'm going to show you how to clean it, properly clean it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off here. This has got to come off. And on the side, on each side, there's little clips. That's what you're going to use the flat blade screwdriver for. You're going to open these clips up, and that whole thing's going to come off. And then we've got a couple other things you're going to take out. So you have 2 on that side, and you're going to have 2 on this side. Now hold that camera steady. You're going to have 2 on this side. It's going to be right down here. I'm going to show you. There's 1, there's 2, and they're the same on the other side. Now we're going to take this little top cover off right here. You can see on the side here there's little clips. And you're going to, with the little screwdriver, you're going to go in, you're going to spread them, and then you're going to take them out. You can start on one side, then you go over to the other side. Okay, now I popped up to one side. Now I'll go over and do the other side. Just take your time. If you're not sure, use your camera, take pictures so you don't forget. These are the little clips I'm talking about. And they're going to be right on the other side too. Going to be right in there. There's one and the other one's back there. That's going to take off that little cover. Okay, now I popped up to one side. Now I'll go over and do the other side. Just take your time. If you're not sure, use your camera, take pictures so you don't forget. These are the little clips I'm talking about. And they're going to be right on the other side too. Going to be right in there. There's one and the other one's back there. That's going to take off that little cover. Okay, now I got it off. There it is. Now you want to put it down. You're going to be adding some screws that you're going to be taking out. Okay. Now you've got a screw here and a screw there. And underneath back here, if I get a little light back here, there's a little rail in there, a plate, piece of plastic that you're going to take out. That's going to expose 2 more screws. When you take all 4 screws out, then you'll be able to take the printhead out, and you're going to be disconnecting these ribbon cables. There's 1 on each side. Now that's probably the hardest thing to do when you got to put it back in. Put those ribbon cables in. So now I'm going to take those 2 screws out up front. Now I'm going to leave them in there. I don't want to take them out. I'll use that pair of needle nose to pick them up with. I don't want to drop them into the machine. Now this little small screwdriver, the flat blade one, that's going to go in here and it's going to pop up this little small plate. By the way, this is the same as the XP800 $9.50. I'm pretty sure it's going to be for all the XPs with this type of design. Okay? Now I'm in the center. I go in the center because you can see it bows up. Okay, because there's a little clip on each side. So I'm going to bow the center, and then I'll be able to carefully, bow it. Don't break it. And once it moves from a side away from the side over here, then that'll come right out. Okay, now I got it out. Now you want to make sure you know how to put it back in. The flat side goes to the back, and then on each end there's a little thing that sticks out. That's what goes into the side here. Little part of the plastic that locks it in. Once you take it out, then you'll be able to see the other two screws. You got one on each side. That printhead's just about ready to come out now. Now remember, the ribbon cables, when you go to put it back in, are the hardest, because it takes a little patience to put them back in. Okay, now I got a pair of needles. I'm going to pull out the screws, and I'm going to put them right next to the little plate that I took out. Keep it all together. Now I want to point this out. The back ones were shorter screws, and then the two front ones are a little bit longer. So you might want to make a note of that. You don't want to put them in wrong. Okay, now there's the printhead. If I use a pair of needle nose, I'll start to work it up. I'll grab it and start to work it up on each side. Because don't forget, you got ribbon cables here. Okay, there, I worked it up. Take your time here. You're going to have one on this side and one on that side. Now, you always, when you're going to put it back together, put this one on first, obviously, and then put this one on. Now, the way they fold it to go back in, that's critical that you pay attention to that, because it's got to fold and go back down just right. Otherwise, you won't get it down. Don't unravel too much of the ribbon cable to put it in. Down below there, they've got two contact springs, so it's going to go back down there. But putting it back together, you're going to have to take a little bit of time doing. So I'm going to take the ribbon cables off. They can only go off and on one way. That slides right out. And then I got the other one. You just slide it right off. But you see the way that ribbon cable folds? That's what you want to pay attention to. Because you got to put this back in so it all goes in at the same time. Now I got the ribbon cables off. There's your printhead. Now you'll be able to clean it, flush it out. Now around each one of these micro screens, there's a little rubber gasket. Don't lose it. You need that gasket. So in other words, if I get this lined up properly, that whole printhead will slide back down in. I'm doing it now. I don't want to put it in yet. So that's why I said take your time, because you got to put the ribbon cables on. You got to get them to the side so it folds neatly like this. Just like that. There's the contact springs. Don't take that out. But that's how you remove the printhead. I'm going to show you how to clean and flush this printhead. Be very careful in this area here. You don't want to damage it. So that's how easy it was to take out that printhead. And I didn't have to take anything off but 4 screws and a couple little plastic brackets. Now in the second part of the video, I'm going to show you how to clean it, what type of chemical to use. You got to be very careful what you're going to use in here. Use the wrong stuff, and I don't recommend ammonia. Don't do it. Windex or ammonia. You don't want to do that. Because there's some gold contact points in there. You don't want to get ammonia on them. There's a lot safer and better chemicals to use. Now this is it's going to be our third machine from Epson. This one here, the power pack went out on it. The other two they replaced, printhead problems. But I have a hunch that these gaskets can cause you some problems, because I'll take them out later when I go to clean it and show you what I'm talking about. So you'll have to go to part 2 video to see how to clean it and to reinstall it.